So for many of us, we work and we work day in and day out, thinking of how we can one day stop working but still be able to pay our bills. And it can be hard to know how to go about getting started with building our wealth so we could finally stop working for money. So in this video, we're going to discuss how to get started from zero and make it all the way to becoming a millionaire. So let's get right into it. So I will just say that even though, yes, I am a licensed financial advisor, I am not your personal financial advisor, and I don't understand your personal situation. So I can't give you personal advice. Can tell you that this video will be a great way for you to start developing your own personal plan and to talk to your financial advisor about your plan. Because this plan can go a million different directions, we're just going to start off with the assumption that we're talking about somebody who has a W-2 job and they work for minimum wage. They're an adult that's somewhere in their late teens to early 20s, and they plan to work until they're in their 50s or 60s. And they don't really have any valuable skill set. They don't have any education past high school, nor do they have any college or trade school experience either. So we'll start it off from the absolute bottom, which is when you have a negative net worth. So really at this point, your biggest liability to you is your debt. So paying off your debt is probably the most important thing you could do at this stage. And generally, I tend to say that you shouldn't worry about paying off debt that has a low interest rate. But in this situation, because that debt can be such an overhang to you, especially if it's high interest, that it's much more important that you worry about paying off that debt as soon as possible. And if it's consumer debt, you definitely want to get rid of that because it usually has some of the highest rates to it as well. If you are, let's say you got into this debt because you were buying too many different things, this is definitely a situation where I'll tell you that it's time to go Dave Ramsey style and cut up all your credit cards, because last thing you want to do is to have these credit cards pop up again later on and create issues for you. Now, when it comes to the work side of things, to be able to get rid of this debt as soon as possible, you really have to get aggressive about how you work and work as much as you possibly can. You know, I'd even say take 10 jobs if you need to. Like, I know for me, when I was in college and I had a negative net worth, I worked almost 60 hours a week while going to school full time as well. Even though, like, I highly don't recommend most people to do that, you really have to get aggressive about you paying off this debt. And when it comes to spending, you really guys spend like almost nothing. Like, you have to be absolutely bare bones about your spending. So after you get out of the negative net worth situation, the next bracket I would say is the $0 to $10,000 net worth bracket. And in this bracket, you really want to focus on saving money. Now, since you can shift away from paying off debt, start to build an emergency fund of about 3 to 6 months of your expenses. So when it comes to work, you really still want to work at an aggressive pace to try to build up that emergency fund as soon as possible. Once you kind of got that emergency fund in place, you can kind of take a step back when it comes to working and really dial down on investing in yourself. You use that time that you're using to work to really focus on building some kind of very valuable skill. In my opinion, this is something that can at least make you $100,000 a year. And you don't necessarily have to go to school to build a skill like this. In some cases, you don't even have to come out of pocket very little to even build some of these skills. For example, I know that there's a couple of HVAC and plumbing companies in my area that actually will hire people straight out of high school and pay to have them trained and give you a job after the training as well. There are options outside of this traditional four-year college. And you invest in yourself will be something that you'll do over the entirety of your lifetime, not just in this stage. So in the next stage, which I consider to be anywhere from about $10,000 to $50,000 net worth, what you want to do is that you also, if you do have a very entrepreneurial mindset to you, you may want to consider to start building out a side hustle. Given the fact now that you have a valuable skill and hopefully you have a good income, you can now take some of that income and put it into your side hustle. So that way you could continue to build your skills and also have another source of income as well. Also in this phase, you also really want to focus on getting started in investing in the stock market. So because you have your fully your fully funded emergency fund in place, you now have the ability to be able to take any extra money that you earn after you pay your necessities and use that money to now put it into the stock market. So personally, when I started in the stock market, I started off buying broad-based index funds that covered huge swatches of either the U.S. market or the international market or the bond market and things of that nature. I think that this is probably the best way for you to learn the basics of how the stock market works, and also to kind of keep you away from the more riskier side of the market. That is something that you do really want to stay away from, is a lot of the very speculative parts of the market. So that could be things like cryptocurrency, options, trading, investing in money losing companies. And also at this point, I really wouldn't focus on contributing to retirement accounts unless, big but here, you have an employer's match, because that employer's match will blow any investment you make out of the water. Because think about it, you put in a dollar, your employer's putting in a dollar, and then on both of those dollars you're getting your 7, 10, whatever percentage every single year of a return. So it's a really good investment if your employer does offer a match. So in the next phase, which is the about $50,000 to $100,000 range, you really want to focus on buying your first home. And in my opinion, I would take the money that I put in the stock market and I'll use it to buy that first home. And really, you could buy a home with as little as 3% down. So it may not take you a very long time to save up that money. And it could be a really good investment if you are currently renting, or if you have the income or the savings to be able to float any unexpected repairs to the property. Now, when it comes to buying real estate, the best advice I could give you is to just buy something that's normal. Let's say you want to buy in a certain neighborhood that the average home is 2-bedroom, 1 bath with 700 square feet. You want to buy a home that fits those parameters as closely as possible. You don't want to buy the home down the street that has 5 bedrooms, 5 baths, and that's 3,000 square feet, because you will most likely end up overpaying for that home. So you're probably wondering, why would you do it in this step if you could probably do it in the previous step? And like I said before, really you have a much stronger financial foundation. So let's say for whatever reason the roof goes out and you have to pay 10 grand to replace the roof. You're in a much better position to do that now. Once you have some money saved up and you have some stocks and things like that, it does lower a lot of the risk that you have from buying real estate in terms of big, high ticket repairs. So when it comes to the stock market in this step, you can afford to be a little bit more risky and make some more speculative bets. But I will say that you should still keep this under 5 to 10% of your portfolio, just because in my experience, I've made most of the money in the stock market off of blue chip stocks that have profits and that are some of the more larger companies in the stock market. So if you are going to buy individual stocks, I will say that you really need to put in that work to keep up with the news cycle of the company and their earnings and kind of where things are going as an overall trend. So in the next step, which is the about $100,000 to $1 million net worth, I would say that you really want to focus in this part on investing in real estate. In my opinion, it's a much better way to build your wealth and a much quicker way to build your wealth versus stocks. And for most people, it'll usually take a couple of years for you to save up for each property. So what I like to do personally is that I'll actually take the money that I'm saving and put it into stocks. And then once I have enough money to be able to buy a piece of property, I'll now take that money out of the stock market and use it to buy real estate. I will say that the goal necessarily isn't to be 100% real estate, because real estate is very illiquid. So you want to make sure you keep a little bit of liquidity on the side just in case something happens with a property and you need cash to fix it. But I will say that you definitely want to be real estate heavy in this stage. You got to think about it like this. Most wealthy people made their money based off of like one thing. The next part is when you become millionaire status. And I will say that out of all the other parts that I've talked about, I do have experience being a part of those different network brackets. but I have never reached millionaire status before. So I will say that I'm not speaking out of experience, but this is the next step for me, and I'm definitely starting to think about this more and more as I approach it. And really, in this section, what you want to do is really focus now on investing in stocks for the long term. So now you're not buying stocks so then you could save up enough money to buy real estate. Now you're buying stocks so you could buy it and hold it for a while. This is just to balance out your portfolio so you could kind of diversify away and have a little bit less risk just in one asset class. And at this point, this is when you want to start thinking about putting money into retirement accounts like a 401k or IRA. And maybe if you can, even maxing out those accounts as well. And you could go the route of either buying individual stocks if you'd like, and if you're willing to do that work, or buying index funds if you want to keep your life a little bit simpler. And if you get to this point before you're 40, it's really nice because you now have a choice to either be more conservative and maybe consider staying away from speculation, or you can even be a little bit more aggressive as long as you're balancing out risk reward and you're not putting a huge chunk of your nest egg on the line. So at the end of the day, everyone's path will look different, and it could change drastically on a variety of different reasons: economic cycles, personal emergencies, if you're self-employed or if you're a W-2 employee, or how much money you make. But in my opinion, I think that this is a very good base case on how to get from zero to millionaire in a very streamlined manner. So I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. And if you think this video can help anyone out, please consider sharing it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.